I don't know what's going on here. The world is topsy-turvy. Hey, it's just the gems. I'm Brandon. And did you just see that same Xbox showcase that I did? I feel like something has happened in the world. So in the world of video games, maybe it's bigger than that. I don't know. But I have never really been all that impressed with basically anything that Microsoft has done since they've entered the gaming space. Halo, don't really care. Gears of War, meh. Looks like, a boring shooter thing. But they were showing some pretty cool stuff. And I don't just mean from like third-party partners, although I will get to that, but like from their own studios. I'm like, this looks actually pretty good. Like, really good, maybe. So I think it's safe to say that as of right now, Microsoft is winning this season of announcements, revelations, etc. I mean, Summer Games Fest was great, and it was definitely a step up from that Sony State of Play, which was a whole lot of nothing, in my opinion. But this is like on another level somehow, and I just feel very confused and conflicted. Am I going to have to buy an Xbox? I'm going to have to buy an Xbox. I don't know. I have a PC. Most of these things are going to come to PC. Anyway, let's talk about a few of the things that they showed. Obviously, the first thing that really caught my attention was Persona 4 Revival. That just looks incredible. It looks exactly like I want Persona 4 to look. Persona 4 has always been my favorite Persona game. If you've started with 5 and maybe have played 3 reloads since then, 4, you're in for a treat. 4 is my favorite. It is, in my opinion, the best Persona game. And if they're going to give us a redone version of 4, maybe they'll improve the dungeon design, because that was one of the things that Persona 4 kind of carried over from Persona 3, which is just kind of the randomly generated, or if they're not randomly generated, they feel like they might as well be dungeons, right? But Persona 5 kind of ushered in this new era of like elaborately designed dungeons. And hopefully that mentality is being carried over to Persona 4 Revival. If not, it's not the end of the world. I still think Persona 4 is the best, regardless of the dungeon design. But it would be nice to see a little more care and attention played there. We didn't really see anything too deep as far as dungeons go in this demonstration. Little fast clips of stuff, but it's looking great. It's sounding great. It is exactly the game that I want. I also am very happy to say we got Marie. Marie's there. So that means, I assume that means that the golden content is being included. So that's exciting. Like, we need to have that whole package, because Persona 4 without golden just doesn't quite feel right to me. I don't know. And obviously, I think the big headline grabber for a lot of people is going to be the revelation of Persona 6. It's kind of a stretch to say that they revealed it. They have the title, which is Persona 6, and it looks like it's going to be creepy, right? Those look like graves to you, right? So we're looking like we're moving through a graveyard and there's some big, I don't know, monument, obelisk, something, and it looks really creepy. Now that's very cool. I'm very much on board if Persona wants to kind of readopt some of the like SMT creepiness. And very much in favor of that. That seems very cool. And it will help, I think, differentiate it a little bit from 4 and 5 in particular, kind of make it stand out on its own. Also happy to see that they're going with a green color scheme. I feel like green is the next obvious color for Persona after blue, yellow, and red. So yeah, makes sense. So those are the two most obvious ones for me as a JRPG fan, as a Persona lover. Very, very hyped for those. But moving beyond that, right? We have like Senua, right? Like, I don't know if you have played Hellblade or the sequel Senua Saga, but the Hellblade games are so freaking cool. They're, character focused third person action games, which I know a lot of people are kind of sick of, but they're really, really good. They're just like such good storytelling, good action. They look incredibly beautiful. The performance from the lead actress, whose name is escaping me right now, but it's just like top-notch stuff, and we're getting another one, and it's so exciting. And then we're getting another Plague Tale game, like a spin-off, Resonance of Plague Tale Legacy. If you haven't played any of the Plague Tale games, well, there's 2 of them. If you haven't played either of the Plague Tale games, these like came out of nowhere for me. I didn't really know anything about them, and holy cow, like, it's for a relatively low budget production, they are just some fantastic games. The storytelling, the graphics, the sound design, everything just feels so AAA. But at least as far as I'm aware, it's a pretty small studio. Like, I don't know what their budget is. I don't know where their financing comes from, but like they're punching way above their weight class is what I'm saying. So definitely going to be keeping my eye on that. It looks very different. This obviously looks much more like an action focused sort of game, but whatever, I'm here for it. This Xbox showcase also has the distinction of presenting the first Fable game that I give a crap about. Like, that genuinely looks pretty interesting to me. Now, I don't think that I'm like over the moon for it yet. I'm not losing my mind about this new Fable game, but they got my attention. And that's never happened before. I could never have cared less about any of the Fable games. The trailers did nothing for me. It just never appealed to me in any, even minute way. But this one, they've got my attention. So I will be really curious this is not going to be a day one purchase for me, but it's going to be something I'll keep my eyes on. If it reviews well, if people are pleased with it, maybe I'll pay a little more attention to it. But it's on my radar now, and that is so much more than any Fable game has ever been in the history of Xbox. As a longtime Castlevania fan, I am looking forward to Castlevania Belmont's Curse. I'm not crazy about the art style. I haven't been since it was first revealed. It's not, I don't know, the aesthetic doesn't really appeal to me. I wish with all my heart that they would employ some talented 2D animators and give us that hand-drawn or even pixel art Castlevania experience from the PlayStation 1 era. Give us the Symphony of the Night game that we've been begging for years. In terms of gameplay, maybe this one will be great. It looks obviously very flashy and action-packed, but everything is using kind of these, I don't know, these stylized graphics that I'm honestly not the biggest fan of. We'll see how I feel playing it, because I'm definitely going to get it. I'm definitely going to play it, but I'm a little iffy. I don't know. And the last one I wanted to just mention is Vivarium from Serenity Forge. What? Like, that's how do you make a game that looks like that? How do you make a game that plays like I don't get it. It's beautiful, and I'm loving this new. There's a couple of games. I'm blanking on the other one that's, I think, showed up on Nintendo, but using like kind of a retro anime aesthetic. And I mean, this takes it to the level of it just looks like an old Studio Ghibli film or something, right? Like, it just looks perfect, like an old school anime. Like, I don't know how they do it, but I'm extremely here for it. Anyway, highlight of the show for me is, maybe it's obvious, but Persona 4 Revival. I'm happy to see what it looks like in action. We're getting closer next year, early next year, actually. So we're actually going to be able to play this within the next 8 months. I couldn't be happier. Like I said, this is my favorite Persona game. More people need to experience it. And obviously, like, if you really want to play Persona 4 right now, you can grab Persona 4 Golden on basically anything, right? It was trapped for a long time on the Vita. That's where I played it first. And the original game, obviously, on the PlayStation 2. But now you can get it on whatever platform you want. So if you can't wait until February and you really want to play it, or you just want to play the original first before you play the remake to see how they differ, or whatever, some people like to do that. I don't know. I don't judge. But you can go ahead and grab it now, and I would not discourage you from doing that. But if you can wait and you are excited about Persona 4 Revival and you want to have that be your first Persona 4 experience, I wouldn't blame you at all. It looks incredible, and I am so here for it. How, to bring it back around, how did Microsoft do this? How did they give me the best showcase experience? I don't know. Like, maybe I should have seen it coming. They gave us Expedition 33 back, a few years ago, whenever they revealed that. And that was super cool, and obviously became, in my opinion, one of the greatest RPGs of all time. So obviously they've got connections. They've got people on their team, right, that are looking out for people like us. I feel like you look at any of the other showcases we've seen so far, sort of with the exception of Summer Game Fest. Summer Game Fest ended with Persona, with Final Fantasy VII Revelation, which looks incredible, and I'm losing my mind about that game too. But by and large, the showcase didn't really feel like it was aimed at me, And that's fine. There are a lot of other people that aren't me that play video games, and their money spends as good as my money. So I don't expect everybody to just cater to me. But there was a time, and it comes and goes. There have been times where the stars align, and I feel like there are so many games in the lineup of upcoming titles that just really particularly appeal to my sensibilities. Most of those are going to be JRPGs, but there's plenty of other genres that I enjoy, especially if they're more narrative focused, highly stylized. Things of that nature really appeal to me. And so to have this showcase coming from Microsoft, a company that I traditionally could not have cared less about, giving me all of these things that I'm genuinely looking forward to. I made a list. I sat down and made a list as I was watching this, because I was like, I'm not going to remember all of them. There's enough here that I'm not going to remember all of them when I want to talk about them. That's crazy. That's never happened before. So bravo, Microsoft. You did it. I don't know. I mean, now you have to follow through and the games actually have to come out. So you're part of the way there, but you have impressed me. Okay. You have my attention, and I'm not a console warrior. I don't need the Switch 2 to be victorious. I don't need the PlayStation 5 to win everything. I don't care. Like, in my ideal world, there would be no consoles and we would all just play games on whatever machine. Like, I can go buy a Blu-ray player and watch any movie in the world on it, because that's how movies are, because they're a lot smarter than games. Like, it just makes more sense to have a device that plays all of the things. But because we don't live in that world, we live in a world where a handful of companies want to, make us spend our money with just them and nobody else. We end up in this situation with all these different consoles. I don't care who wins. I don't care. I will play all of the games. I will play all the games. So if Microsoft wants to come in with all of this new stuff and make it appealing to someone like me, I'm not too proud to be like, sure, here's my money. Give me your thing and I'll play the games. So I don't know. How did you all feel about this Microsoft showcase? Let me know down in the comments. Do you think they've won so far? Now, I know Nintendo is probably doing a direct either this week or next week. So this could easily change in the next several days. But as of right now, I think Microsoft is winning the season. They are in the lead. They are the team to beat right now. So Nintendo could pull out all the stops. They could give us a remake of Ocarina of Time. They could, I don't know what else they could do, but like hit us with a new Xeno game or something. Like, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of cards that Nintendo could play. I'm sure they'll give us a Fortune's Weave. I'm not forgetting Fire Emblem. They'll give us a release date. It'll be this fall and it'll be great. So the Nintendo could still pull into the lead, technically, but it's going to be tough to beat this showcase, I think. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.